Hello and welcome to another episode of Game Chat with Tom and Lucas. I am Lucas.
I am Tom.
He is still mobile due to some PC issues, but that is not going to stop us from giving you another episode of the show. Tom, how are we and what is your computer status?
Still not available. You know, I tried to hit up Micro Center to be like, yo, what's good? And it said waiting on you. So I was like, waiting on me? That's interesting. They haven't called me. I wonder what they're waiting on. So I called them and was like, yo, what's good? Apparently they just ordered a part and they're waiting on the parts manufacturer, not actually me. So I don't know what was good with that. But otherwise we're chilling. I also totally had a story to tell literally right before this podcast that I really wanted to talk about, but now it's gone. Oh, tornado. I got trapped in a brewery last night. Thanks, Bill. Shout out producer Bill. Yeah, that was wild.
When Bill put that message in the chat, I thought he was like, "Oh, the tornado is like by my location." So if I
No,
disconnect,
there is a tornado by my location though. So it's basically jumped from winter to summer here in Minnesota overnight. It was literally like 90 degrees today, which in May, which was wild to me. But also last night we had a very intensive storm with quote destructive winds and a tornado watch and warning and whole nine. Me, Paige, and the homies were out at trivia at a brewery, and halfway through trivia, all hell started breaking loose outside. Bunch of people running through the streets in chaos, winds whipping up to 80 miles per hour, quote, destructive winds. And then the people in the brewery were like, okay, everybody, time to go in the back. We just got to wait this out. There are tornado sirens outside. That is the loud alarm you are hearing. We got to wait this out. Because the whole brewery is just like, those big glass garage door type windows that they can open and close. And the warning that got blasted to everyone's phone said, get the fuck away from windows. So we got a free brewery tour and we're kind of trapped there for half an hour between trivia questions. But it wasn't too bad, got a free brewery tour. And now I can say I was trapped in a brewery during a tornado. So that was lit.
are they fairly common in Minnesota?
I mean, technically, it's not like the tornado belt, I think, but like the Midwest, and tornadoes go like hand in hand. Apparently, the first Wednesday of every month is like tornado siren test day out here. Didn't know that, but they do that here. So just careful out there, ladies and gentlemen. Tornadoes, very real. They'll mess you up.
Well, hey, glad you're okay, because that
Thank
would
you.
have been a real tragedy if Game Chat lost half of its hosts
To a tornado, especially. That would be
of all
quite a way to
things.
go.
Yeah,
At least it would have been in a brewery. It was definitely wild though, this whole tornado thing. Two of our friends that we were with, one of them, she was like, oh hey, I think we're in the eye of the storm right now. And we live pretty close. So let's go. Let's go right now. While there were like maybe like 45 people in the back of this brewery, she was like, let's go right now. We gotta go. And we're like, you probably shouldn't do that. And her girlfriend was like, babe, we shouldn't do this. And she's like, no, we gotta go. And they made it home, thankfully. Everybody made it home safe. I was just like, damn, props to you for braving the tornado. You're braver than me. Shout out Emily.
they ended up leaving.
They did. They did. They like asked the one of the beer tenders there. They're like, "Can we go?" And they just kind of like peeked out the door for a bit, and then they went. I thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah, that takes some real cojones to make that assumption
They
and be
made it.
correct.
They made it. Honestly, at the end of the day, I'm glad they made it because they have a wonderful cat named Jezzy at home that they have to watch out for. And it would have been a real sad tragedy if something happened to Jezzy. So I'm glad they were there for her.
Priorities, of course. Gotta keep that cat safe. at all
Yeah,
costs.
of course. Of course. What about you, man? How you doing?
I guess same old stuff. I had my first patient at the hospital that belonged to people I knew, which was kind of wild. And then
Oh,
said people came on a visit, and I happened to be helping someone move this dog to the visiting area, and they were there, and so we just had a lovely convo with them about their dog and how he was doing. So that was been there almost 6 months, and that was the first time that's happened. So just interesting work week.
I hope the dog is okay. Props to you for helping the animals out there, because you're dealing with some shit that certainly could deal with. So props to you, sir.
Yeah, it's it's always something new, something exciting every week. So
You know what else is new and exciting every week?
oh, game chat with Tom and Lucas.
Absolutely. You can check us out on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify. You can find us anywhere, folks. I just want to reiterate that, our Instagram is really the place you can find us first and foremost. Definitely check us out there. That's where all our info is posted. Before we really continue diving in here, just to get through some housekeeping, check us out there. Follow us on YouTube and Spotify if you can. And we'll be taking a break soon, won't we, Lucas? Taking a break for season 3. We'll be doing this episode, and then we have one more lined up for next week. And then, we'll be taking a short break while we try to prep ourselves for a move to a bigger, better, and improved game chat with Tom and Lucas format, if you will. Should be a fun time, but we just want to keep it real with all y'all out there who tune in and check us out on the reg. Thank you to all of you. And, thanks for sticking with it for the length we've been going. And we hope to be able to provide you even better stuff come season 3. I know Lucas is excited for the season 3 jump.
Yes, the season 3 release date is TBD, but as soon as we get that down, we will let you know. And as Tom said, we do have one more episode to wrap up the season. That'll be dropping next week, and we can provide some more details at said time and said place. But for now, we can continue with the current episode that you're listening to, and we can discuss some gaming news. And I have something I'd like to talk about this week, Tom, if you'll allow me the floor.
Send it. I feel like I kind of know what you might have to bring up.
Yes, you do, because it was in the Google Doc and you probably saw it. But
Definitely didn't look at it.
the news I wanted to discuss was EA, that disease-ridden developer studio, has split from FIFA, and they're no longer working together. So the FIFA franchise we all know and love will be no more in name, but the games will still come out. It is going to be called the EA Sports FC brand franchise. So that's the last FIFA was FIFA 22. The next EA soccer game is going to be EA Sports FC 23, I guess is what they'll call them.
They've been going for over 30 or they've been going for like 30 plus games, haven't they? Like that's like 30 years.
Like back to the I think like the Sega Genesis.
That is definitely wild for sure. Do I think it will ultimately make a difference? Not really. We'll see what they do. This kind of follows. There was another, like the other big soccer competitor game. It was like UEFA Cup or something like that. But they went free to play. They didn't really change their branding. They just changed the way they were holding their game. And you know what? If I'm being honest, EA should follow suit with like all their sports titles and just make it, if they're going to make an EA whatever FC club, like you said, have that be it. Just put it out, make it $60 or $70, whatever the heck it is, and then just like have that be your soccer platform moving forward. Same with Madden, same with Shell, same with like I don't know whatever else UFC. I don't know what else EA has been doing lately. I don't really follow sports games too much, but they need an update, Lucas, and maybe this will be an awakening for EA to sort of be like, hey, maybe we should get with the program and really start hopping on it because FIFA especially has been a terrible offender in some of their recent releases. I know for a fact, like some of them, maybe it was 2019 and 2020, it was literally like data miners found out it was the exact same game. They just like changed some banners and updated the year. I don't know. That could be fake news, but I'm pretty positive. It was either the jump between 19 and 20 or 20 and 2021 that was like literally the exact same game. So, maybe this will be the jumpstart EA needs to really start putting in some effort to revitalizing some of their famous sports franchises, if you will. I don't know. I feel like you follow these games better than I do. So, what do you think?
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
I mean,
It's just
yeah,
it's just going to be yearly releases with little to no change for all, EA associated sports franchises, and we'll keep buying them, and they'll go to the bank with our money and laugh all the way there.
it's
So
such a shame too, because like EA like has quite a lot of other studios and IP underneath their belt that honestly are really solid and come out with some really good titles. Specifically, like specifically a lot of the Star Wars titles of late have been spectacular. Those are all EA housed games, but I don't know. I don't know. It feels kind of sad that their bread and butter is behind the times, if you will. But we'll see what happens. I think FIFA came out on top of that with a W, if you ask me.
that was not even the EA was the one that broke it off. It wasn't FIFA.
Oh, that's even weirder to me. We'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
Is there anything that piqued your interest this gaming week in terms of news?
So there was a lot of stuff going on. Couple of honorable mentions include the fact that Xbox is making a streaming stick, which like we all saw coming. Also, just as of like either today or yesterday, very very recently, both Starfield and Redfall got delayed, pushed to 2023, which big surprise there. The game they showed nothing about that was supposed to be Bethesda's next big swing got pushed a year ahead. But the one that really, really caught my interest, Lucas, is I'm taking this I'm taking this from a IGN article written by Ryan Dinsdale. And did you know that scientists have invented mouth haptics for VR, including water, wind, and spiders? Did you know?
What
Did you hear about
what
this?
was that called? A mouth what?
Haptics. Now in VR, you are going to be able to feel stuff
In your
in
mouth?
in the mouth area.
Why? Why would anybody want that?
Wait, get this though.
Why?
Get this though. This is the best part, right? These I'll just read from it for a little bit. Scientists have invented mouth haptics for VR that allow users to feel different virtual experiences with their mouths. These include feeling the wind on your face while riding a bike, taking a sip from a fountain and feeling the water on your lips, and of course, covering yourself with spiders that you'll feel running in and around your mouth. Scientists from Carnegie Mellon's Future Interfaces group added ultrasonic transducers to a Meta Quest 2, no longer the Oculus. And basically, these sensors are programmed to do different things around your mouth, including making it so that when you're like, smoking a cigarette, brushing your teeth, or perchance walking through a field of cobwebs, you will feel spiders in your mouth
But
while
how would they
wearing.
even know like what that would feel like and how to program that sensation is my question.
We can throw the article link in the video description, sure. But it's some future shit, bro. You know, like those 4D like movie theaters and like 4D experiences you see at like Disney or something like that, where it's like, oh yeah, like you're gonna go on the Polar Express and they're gonna blow wind and snow at you and your chair's gonna move around and like if you go through water they're gonna splash water on you, that kind of stuff. It's basically that, but for spiders in and about your mouth. And this is only the beginning, you know like the metaverse is growing, Lucas. One day not only will we be able to commute 20 minutes to and from your metaverse house to your metaverse work, all while being in the comfort of your own home. But then, while you can take your VR meta coffee cup and put it to your lips, and you can actually feel the coffee like coming into your mouth. Or the spiders, you can fill your meta coffee cup with spiders. It's the future, bro. Aren't you excited?
No, a little disturbed, to be honest. This is
Listen,
troubling
man,
news.
this is not for you.
No, it is not.
I'm sorry to hear that. You got to get with the times, man.
I like to keep the spider interactions with spiders to a minimum in my
Listen,
day to day.
all the cool kids are eating spiders on the weekend, so I don't know what you've been up to, but time to get with it. That's all I'm saying.
Well, thank you for sharing that that news with everyone, with the world.
Some may call it disturbing. I call it innovation.
Yeah. Uh I'd like to move along to to the main course of the episode.
Great segue.
Yeah, that's just I'm very uncomfortable. It's only gonna get worse if that's what they're leading off with. But anywho, we here at Game Chat wanted to have this episode focus on something that is not related to arachnids, and that was our personal favorite PlayStation Plus games from season 2 of the show, which coincidentally debuted in January of 2022. So it's essentially our top PlayStation Plus games so far this year. And we just wanted to give our personal lists, kind of discuss them, and maybe convince some people to check them out. And yes, that is the PlayStation logo there. Tom is showing this whole mobile component's really allowing some creativity. I kind of like it.
I hate it, but go on. Go off. Yeah, sure. I can point my camera at things. It's great.
But yeah, I could start it off here. So what we're doing is
Absolutely. Absolutely.
our
So this like
personal top fives.
yeah. And as Lucas has mentioned, this is basically conveniently pretty much the run of 2022 up to this point in May. So we won't necessarily dive into 2021 games from season one. If you like this kind of format, if you like this kind of video, as we get into it, let us know. Let us know what your top fives are if you're a PlayStation user, or if you've played any of these games, because almost all of them are available, or literally all of them are available on multiple platforms. So be sure to check them out if you haven't already. But Lucas, without further ado, send it, my friend. Jump right in. Number
I'm assuming we're going,
five.
5-1. So coincidentally, my number five is a game that we just mentioned in this podcast, and that is FIFA 22, which was
Oh, that was
the
this month. Yeah.
yeah the came out about a week ago,
Is
and
this the final FIFA, or are they
yes,
doing one more year?
this is it. This is the final FIFA EA collab, and that's
Ah,
it. So a little bit of sentimental value there.
piece of
It's going to be
history.
all different here on out. But yeah, so that's obviously developed and produced by EA, and as all EA sports games are, it's available everywhere. So I'm sure many people have played it that are listening or watching. And yeah, pretty much your same standard FIFA gameplay style mechanics. But yeah, it just being the last one is a little, little touch of the heart there for
That's
longtime
your
fans.
that's your number 5 game. Have you even downloaded this game?
No,
Yeah. What
I
the
I
hell?
played it at a friend's house.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, FIFA's fun for sure. I like playing FIFA. I used to play a bunch with my dad. It definitely is like it's the world's game, man. You can't go wrong with football. EA FIFA games, while in terms of consumer value, not necessarily great, their main formula is pretty damn grand. They don't necessarily have to change it up or iterate it too much because it is pretty good, but this one did not make my list. I think I threw it in my honorable mentions because I do enjoy the FIFA games. But hey, maybe we should switch it up. Play some real football instead of me losing to you in Madden over and over and over again.
Oh, man, I believe that sometime in season 3 you can surpass me.
I will. I will for sure. Are we gonna have to get the new Madden when it comes out? Inevitably in like
Uh,
6 months.
I I'm not ready to commit one way or the other at this point in time. So that'll
Yeah.
also be a TBD.
We'll see how buck wild this season goes and if we really need roster updates or not.
Oh, I mean, we just had the craziest NFL offseason ever. So
That's what I'm saying. Interesting pick for your number 5. Interesting pick. Jumping in to my number 5. My number 5 is going to be a little ditty I like to call SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom rehydrated, folks. That's right. The classic you know and love has been remastered for PlayStation 4 and current modern day consoles. This game was developed by Purple Lamp Studios, who previously worked with Rare, the famous studio, to help make and develop the PC port of the fan favorite Xbox title Sea of Thieves. So they have some chops under their belt, and then they took on this SpongeBob project, and they're actually in the process of developing the next SpongeBob game in their classic like 3D platformer series. I believe it's called like the Cosmic Shake or something of that nature. But as I said before, this is a remake of Heavy Iron Studios' 2003 wonderful title of the same name, available on PC, mobile, Switch, PS4, Xbox One, Stadia, and Luna. Note they do not have current gen releases for this game unless you count PC. But yeah, I had to toss this one on there. I loved Battle for Bikini Bottom back in the day. I played like a pretty basic favorite level of mine back at PAX East 2020 when they were demoing this game in a couple of different spots. And it's not doing anything revolutionary, not doing anything crazy. If you played the old one, it's still got all the same charm, all the same love with a fresh coat of paint. And if you've never played a 3D SpongeBob platformer, it's dope as fuck. It's fun. It's SpongeBob. You can't go wrong with that. It gives lots of collecting to do. It's not groundbreaking. It's not revolutionary. It is just taking a product in a certain lane and just doing some real good with it. You ever play this game? You ever play the original game? You a fan of SpongeBob games?
I believe I probably did play the original game. I don't remember much about it. I definitely have not dabbled with the rehydrated version, but wouldn't be something I'm opposed to trying out since it is it is free and on my console. So there's nothing
Well,
stopping me.
no longer free. This was in April. This was an April game, so
Well,
this was last month.
assuming you have a PlayStation and are pretty locked in on just grabbing whatever's available each month and figuring
For
the
sure.
rest out later.
If you're in the ecosystem, you should have grabbed this one, and you definitely should try it out if you've never played it before or haven't done a SpongeBob 3D platformer. Basically, think like it's similar to Mario. You know, you're fighting your baddies, you got your spin attacks, you can jump on the heads of things, collect coins, all your favorite characters are there. Some wacky situations and hijinks ensue, you know, boss fights. It's a good time. It's a good ass time. Highly recommend it. That's my number five. Simply because, you know, like I said, not groundbreaking really in any way, but just a classic, you know, up there with the likes of Creature from the Krusty Krab, and of course, the always critically acclaimed SpongeBob SquarePants, the movie, the game, from way back in the day.
Wow, I didn't even know they made that.
You're not in the SpongeBob ethos, are you?
No, after the SpongeBob movie, when they like switched all the people working on it, I stopped really giving a fuck. I saw like a modern SpongeBob episode recently and was just like, "Oh, how far my my the prodigal son has fallen."
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you on that, but the games, it's a real treat, so you should give it a try. I think you'd like it.
Facts. I will have to check it out sometime. And the number 4 game on my list
Number
is a
four.
game I know you have checked out because you are the person I played this with, and that is Team Sonic Racing.
I didn't play, dude. I didn't play this game with you, did we?
Oh, you don't remember it? Were you a little out of it when we were when we were playing?
Oh, you know what? I do remember playing this with you. I lied. Okay.
Yeah. That is obviously Sega Nintendo collab production wise, and Sumo Digital is the developer there
Wait,
and available on
there's no Nintendo involved. Don't say fake news.
well, no, they're one of the it's on they're one of the publishers.
Nintendo, Sega's the publisher.
Sega's one of the like 6 publishers.
What?
Yeah. There's like a bunch of publishers. I mean, that could obviously like Sega would be the most involved. But yeah,
Interesting.
there was a whole list of people that I guess have like dipped a toe in. But I mean, yeah, it's mostly
Okay,
Sega.
facts.
And then
Sorry,
Nintendo's the
sorry, Tim.
other big name out of the other ones. I didn't feel like mentioning them since it's a kind of a different tier of importance. No disrespect.
This is my number three. This game. It's a lot of fun.
Okay. I figured that would be on your list. But yeah, available for all major consoles, the big 4. So if that's something you want to give a try, I certainly had a good time in the couple races we did.
Absolutely.
And that was with little to
Absolutely.
no like information on what power-ups did and all the works. So
Yeah. It's your standard kart racer, you know, just with Sonic characters and a team-based focus. It's pretty cool. Your overall team score as you go through a 4 race cup is based on, you know, how well you as a team did and where each member of your 3-person team respectively placed in the race. I thought it was fun. It definitely has a lot more cooperative based elements. Like you, essentially, your teammates have like draft trails that you can follow around that'll give you speed boosts. Basically, do the Ricky Bobby the shake and bake. You literally can shake and bake in this game. It's pretty dope in that respect. So follow behind your teammates and then slingshot off of them. A lot of you have the ability to give your teammates items if need be. You have like team based speed boosts and ultimates, which I thought were cool. Some killer music as always from the people behind all the Sonic games. And yeah, I really like this game. Shout out to Sumo Digital, the developers. They make some really cool games, including the newest iteration of the Little Big Planet echelon, if you will, Sackboy: A Big Adventure, and they also made the last. They made Little Big Planet 3, which I thought was cool, and two other games they developed. A little favorite of mine called Snake Pass, which is basically a 3D platformer where you play as a snake that a bunch of us got for free at PAX East one year. And also another PlayStation Plus game that was given out this year was from Sumo Digital called Hood Outlaws and Legends, which was going to be on my honorable mentions list. But yeah, this game is a lot of fun. Highly recommend checking it out. If you like racing games, if you like kart racers and you got friends to play with, it's a fun time. I would highly recommend. Like I said, that's my number three. And that was a March drop as well, and just the PS4 version, as there is no PS5 version. But yeah, yeah. Anything else you got to say about the Sonic racing, my dude?
I'll say I was pleasantly surprised because my interpretation was like, oh, this is just going to be like a worse Mario Kart, and it was very different. Obviously, still a racing game, but the whole team element was pretty interesting. And I can imagine if you had like a full team of people that you're all like, working together and chatting with, and not like I think we were teamed up with one or two computer people. Probably real fun time. But what was your number four, if that was your number three?
My number four would be a game called, and this was a January PlayStation Plus edition, and it had both a PS4 and a PS5 version. And it would be a little ditty by the name of Deep Rock Galactic, developed by Ghost Ship Games and published by Coffee Stain Publishing. It is a 1 to 4 player co-op PvE first person shooter where you play as, quote, badass space dwarves fighting waves of endless aliens in fully destructible environments and caves. And this is currently available on PC, Xbox One, PS4, and PS5. So I have heard quite a lot of good things about this game. We'll get some B-roll in there as we go about it. But yeah, it like season two apparently is out as of Friday. And this just looks like a cool game that I think we should totally hop into, if I'm being completely honest, because I've heard a lot of good things. Like, it looks fun. There's like a crafting survival element to it where you go in and you collect materials and break stuff down and whatnot. But yeah, then you just fight aliens as these kick-ass space traveling dwarves that go to these mining planets. So that's my number four. I recommend that people check it out, and I also recommend that me and you check it out and play it sometime, because I feel like this would be. Yeah, I'm watching some gameplay right now. I literally see some guy building bridges. Some dude's got drill hands. One dude's driving a big tank excavator looking thing. They're mining gems. Looks like a kick-ass time, man. That's all I'm saying. Have you seen this game? Have you heard of this game?
I have heard of it. I have not seen any gameplay footage though.
For sure. It definitely looks cool. Cool, kind of like pixelated, crystallized art style. I don't really know how to describe it that well, but yeah, looks like loads of different weapons, tools, and fun ways to kill enemies. Spelunking co-op goodness, if you will.
We will have to give that a go. Speaking of team-based combat, that
Number
was right
three.
right into my number three, which is another game we have both played, and that is Tribes of Midgard.
Oh, that was your number three?
hmm And let
Did
me
you
tell you
play
why,
more
Tom.
of this game?
Yes, so we
Oh, you
played the
did?
tutorial. We played the tutorial, and the tutorial was just hot garbage.
Hot
And
garbage.
and I played it twice because I played it initially at PAX, and it was like just a horrible game to have as like a 10-minute demo.
Not a good game to
Because it
demo.
was very much about resource allocation and just acquiring materials, so a lot of mining and crafting. But yeah, so this game is Norsefell Games, named appropriately, and Gearbox is
Published by Gearbox,
the
of course.
developer publisher respectively. This game is only available on PlayStation and PC. And
PS4 and PS5, both versions
yes,
are out.
both versions. And
Is
yeah,
that
the
this month?
tutorial was
Last month.
I believe it was last month. I believe it was April. But yeah, so the tutorial was bad, but the whole like shtick of the game, which I didn't like realize until like looking more into it, is it's all like online like cooperation, like combat based. So you're playing with presumably like hopefully some more people some online friends and pals, and you're just a bunch of Vikings slaying monsters by the dozen.
Warriors brought up from Valhalla, or brought down, I guess.
Yeah.
You're
So
collecting like world tree seeds and shit.
right. So it's the tutorial was like not a tower defense, but it was like, oh, you need to defend this like area from these monsters. And then it's like, oh, here's a random out of nowhere like boss fight.
It kind of seemed like a tower defense because it looked like there was a day cycle and a night cycle. And in the day cycle, you just build up your town, do shit, upgrade, whatever, and then nighttime. It kind of looked like a weird mix of like survival, tower defense, not really Minecraft, but also you're harvesting resources and building things. Like,
Yeah. So I don't know like why it was so different from what the actual like I guess main not main mode, but it seems like the most popular version is just like you just go out in the world with other people and like obviously gather stuff and make yourself more powerful, but it's like you're tag teaming like against like these monsters.
for sure, for sure. Like
So
doing raids and whatnot.
yeah, which wasn't like the vibe at all of like our exposure to it. So that might be
No,
something that we give a second run around just to see if it's something that we want to get into. But I just wanted to throw that on the list just to kind of give it its due and reintroduce it to you, since
all
we
right.
popped that game in for like 10 minutes and just immediately moved on,
We played this at like 1 a.m. when we were both
and we
pretty
were done
tired.
playing at like 1:12.
Yeah, it did not last long. We both were like, "This is garbage. No thanks."
Yeah.
Okay, well, good to
So
know. I'm down to give this a proper shake and try it out. I'm glad to hear you went back into it because I remember seeing all the stuff for it and all the press leading up to the release for it, and then because it dropped on the end of July last year. So I remember seeing all this stuff leading up to it, and I really thought it looked cool. And I thought you would especially dig it just because of your affinity for the Norse mythology. But I'm glad to hear you dove back in, and I will definitely think about giving this a try again. That's cool to know. Do you still build up a town and stuff with other people when you play?
that I don't know. I think there's different like online modes where you have different like goals and objectives. So like one of them might be what was it called? Like a tower defense type focus. But my experience was more like the just going out and like finding stuff.
Kicking
It
ass,
was kind of
kicking
more
names.
exploration centered.
Okay, cool. For sure. Well, I will definitely give this a look. This did not make my list, actually.
I didn't think it would.
As I said, my number three was Team Sonic Racing. So if you want, I can just jump ahead to my number two.
I have a strong feeling that
We
these next
probably have
two
the same
games
number
are going to
two.
be my next two games. But what is your
Yep.
number two?
I think both of our number two is definitely Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep, a
Yes, it
Wonderlands
is.
one shot adventure. Okay, glad to hear we were on the same page. Yes, folks, it is, of course, Tiny Tina. This, again, is not to be confused with Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, which is the game that came out this year. That is a full-fledged version of this. This is the one-shot DLC that was originally introduced in Borderlands 2. And while you play through it, you are playing as Borderlands 2 characters. Now I have not played this game on PlayStation. I've been playing it on my PC, but this was, I want to say,
This was
a
February.
February PS Plus game.
They dropped it like 2 weeks before Wonderlands came out, which was really smart marketing.
Smart timing indeed. Developed by this is literally just developed by Gearbox, right? I'm not
Yeah, it's
crazy.
Gearbox,
Yeah, right.
and 2K Games because it was
Published
just
by 2K. Yep.
DLC for BL2.
Yeah, just making sure. But yeah, it's a 2013 Borderlands 2 DLC that they basically broke out into their own standalone thing. You know, me and Lucas been playing this on stream with our boys Trevor and Jake. I've been enjoying it. It's funny as hell. Classic Borderlands writing. My boy Torque is my favorite part of this game, hands down. I wish I did not. Actually, that's a lie. At first, I had wished I did not pick the Psycho character because I had never played him when I played Borderlands 2. So I was like, okay, guess I'll give him a try now. And I didn't really like him at first, but I have now reached the point where I've built up enough skill points and stats that basically anytime I shoot something, I light myself on fire, which causes me to do more damage and go crazy and cool stuff like that and start yelling. So I'm having a blast with this game. You said this was your number two as well? Yeah, it's a fun time. It's like, you know, it really isn't too different from, you know, just like your traditional Borderlands. It definitely is a different setting, and it's got like the tropes of the fantasy genre and whatnot. So it's definitely getting me excited to eventually dive in to the actual Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. But I don't know. What do you got to say about this game, Lucas, as this is also your number two?
Yeah, it's been fun. I think we have only played it for a couple hours, and it seems like we're almost at the end. So
Yeah,
not false advertising by any means.
there hopefully will not be more than a part three of this playthrough.
It's been pretty good. We're at the point now where we've gotten story and mission specific guns that are a lot better than the stuff we were coming across for the first couple hours. So now we're kicking some butt
For sure.
and whatnot. But it's been good. We still have to figure out what that spatula samurai is for as a quest. We found him like within the first 30 minutes, like spatula con,
Oh, like in the Spatula Con, yes, in the
and we
cave.
just haven't figured out when we're supposed to actually go there or what that
Yeah,
quest is. But
that's very true. And ladies and gentlemen, if you have no idea what this game is, have no idea what Borderlands is, and want to find out for yourself, you can head on over to our YouTube channel and check out some of our streams. You know, they'll be in the little live tab you can click on. Me and Lucas have played pretty much like 2/3 of this one shot on stream for the masses. So come check it out. Come see us do some gameplay, have some fun with us, and look forward to our part three that we will eventually do on a Saturday coming soon.
in the future, not too far, but that is also TBD since
You
we
know what else isn't too far? Your number one pick, which is definitely also my number one pick, if I had to guess.
yes, it is, and that would be last month's PlayStation Plus game, or one of three games, which is Slay the Spire, which it's pretty good.
It's
It's a
really
deck
good.
building game where you kind of ascend through these levels, these floors as they're called, and your goal is to get through all 50 floors. There's three acts, and they're broken up, and you encounter bigger, badder enemies and get better and better cards as you go. But that's if you can make it that far. It is not easy, as Tom and I can certainly tell you if you know it's your first time or you're not familiar with that type of game, which I was not.
So, as you said, it was a deck building game. It's also important to note it is a deck building roguelike game. meaning once you die in a run, once you lose, you are done. They label this game as a roguelike. Do you know the difference between like and light? Roguelike and light? This is a thing that always has confused me, so I
I
prepared
do
and
not.
found out.
I didn't even know what rogue meant in terms of like I was familiar with like permadeath as a feature, but I didn't know
For
rogue like
sure.
also meant that.
I mean, it's kind of like that. But basically, for those who do not know, a roguelike is essentially a game where you start out as a base class level, what have you, character with whatever abilities you have, and then you get better as you go. You get better stats, upgrades, items, what have you, as you play throughout it. Games like Binding of Isaac, Enter the Gungeon, Hades, to name a few. And then when you die and you finish, that's it, and you start from the bottom and work your way to the top. There is also rogue light games, which involve you gaining based on every time you do a run, and you can like collect, currency or better upgrades to like boost your character as you go along. It's essentially getting meta progression, if you will. This kind of has that in that you each so as far as I know, I have only unlocked two of the characters. I think there's at least three, maybe more.
There
Um,
are a total of 4 characters.
Four total characters you can unlock, and then with each character they have five unlocks. So I know for the first character, who is the Ironclad, the first unlock you get for him is in fact the second character, but then after that, you get each unlock, you get additional cards that you can find and pick up in subsequent runs. So there's slight meta progression in that you can find new cards, but it doesn't,
It's not
you
it's
know.
not just cards too. There's also class specific relics.
Oh, see, I haven't got to that. I need one more unlock for the Ironclad, and then I'm there.
Hmm.
This game's pretty much everywhere as well, might I say. They dropped it on
Uh
PS4.
oh, it's literally so it's on the big four and it's also as of like a couple months ago is on mobile.
Yes, I've been playing this game on Switch. Lucas has been utilizing the PlayStation Plus drop for it, and then as we posted on our Instagram a couple days ago, you know, producer Bill has also been playing, and he snagged that as part of Xbox Game Pass. So, and then my friend Jake, who is doing our Tiny Tina's run with us, also got hooked on it at my suggestion, and he copped it on mobile and is playing on his tablet. So
I probably will also get it on mobile.
I thought about it; it would be too dangerous, and it
Well, I
would
would get it
eat up all
specifically
my
like if
time.
I was going to be away from home for like a week,
Fair.
you know?
I don't think it's like cross save or whatever. So if you bought a mobile version, you'd be starting from the top. That's why I part of me wants to like download it on my PlayStation or on my PC, but I'm like, nah, I'll just keep it on my Switch. That's why the Switch is the best, baby. Shout out Nintendo. They doing it right. They innovating.
They're not a mobile gaming device is not a new concept, Tom.
No, but it's also a console. Anyway, this was published by Humble Games. Who do you got the developer handy for
Megacrit
chance?
is
Megacrit.
the developer.
Right. Yeah, folks, this game is addicting. If you like deck building games, if you like roguelike games, if you like want a fun, like not super committal game to pick up that will like have you hooked without you even really knowing. I told Lucas he would get addicted to it. He didn't believe me. And then a couple of times I watched him play it and he said he still wasn't hooked. But then he's like texting the group chat at 4 a.m. saying he's finally got to act three. So, you know,
Well,
that
something
happens.
it clicked. One of the first run where I actually won. Like I think it was a little bit like luck based where I got like synergy cards and then it all kind of made sense. in terms of like what I was supposed to be kind of doing.
You
But
should, if you like this game, Lucas, you should try out Hades. Also, I'd say Hearthstone and like, but that's like a way more deck building game. I like Hearthstone. It's all the gameplay wise, it's very similar in that, you have energy, like points you can spend per turn. Billy says that they have battlegrounds within Hearthstone, which I believe is the auto chess version of it. I could be totally wrong about that, but there are lots of different permutations of this out there. But if I had to recommend something to you, Lucas, I would say before diving into the wide world of deck building games, dive into the lit game of roguelikes and procedurally generated levels and enemies because it's a lot more fun. But yeah, this combines two of my favorite, gaming conventions, and I could not be more happy with this game. I have not been playing much lately, but when I do get to play, I sit down, I whip out my Switch, and I'm trying to slay that Spire, man. How far have you gotten?
so I have all 4 characters now, and I have gotten a win with 3 of the 4, and I'm currently trying to get a win with the 4th one.
You have already far surpassed me. I have only been playing the first character, and currently I am work. Have you done any of the Ascensions?
No, so I have not played, I've done another run with a character that I have won with. So as soon as I won with the Ironclad, I moved on to the Silent
Got
and then
it.
moved on to the
Got it.
like Orb Ottoman robot guy. Or Orbiter, yeah, that's Billy just said. That is his name. And then now the Watcher is the last character. And then I don't know. I will try to figure out if I want to do the Ascension because this game is it's very easy to pick up, but it is if you want to like get full completion, it seems pretty grindy where there's 20 different Ascension levels.
There's
So
20?
per character. Like the 5 unlocks was already a little much, but I'm like, all right, well, if you win, you're getting like 900 points. So that's a decent chunk of the unlock section. But yeah,
I'm
it's a
still just
lot.
trying to beat the first Ascension.
Yeah.
And
So
that's
I
just
don't know.
increased
Uh,
elites, and I still can't beat it.
yeah, I don't know
Wow. My bad.
how much more into it I'll get. Um, but there is an Act 4. So
Oh,
that requires you to get a win with the first 3 characters to
okay.
like
Good to
unlock
know.
the ability to do that. And even then you have to like do some other stuff to make it happen. So yeah,
Lucas,
that's kind of what I'm thinking is just get the win with the last person, do the Act 4, and then I don't know. I'll probably be my thirst will be quenched, I think.
your next gaming directive from me and big recommendation is once you feel like you've had your fill with this, either check out Enter the Gungeon or Hades. Both are roguelikes, those are more roguelites, technically. Enter the Gungeon, I think, is harder. But
Enter the Gungeon is like I've played it a little
you've
bit,
played that before.
and
Yeah.
it's like
That's a,
it seems incredibly hard because of how long the run actually is
mm-hmm,
in
mm-hmm.
terms of like getting, a win or succeeding. Whereas, as Billy dropped in the chat, like the average Act 3 run is like an hour and a half tops. Like you can get through them very quickly.
For
Um,
sure. Though it's a different game for sure in that it is just simply not a deck building. Both are more combat bullet hell focused. But yeah, but yeah. It I like if you like this game in the convention of like kind of starting and working your way up and becoming a badass, the deck building game is definitely you can snowball a lot with that if you build your deck in the right ways. Like I currently have a run going where I essentially play one card which makes all my skills cost 0, but I exhaust them when I use them. But I also have 2 other cards where I can make it so anytime I exhaust a card, I draw a card. And I also have one that stacks block. So I'll just like in one turn, just like accumulate 40 block, and then just, once you hit that point, it's easy peasy. You just gotta have some strong attacks and keep going. But yeah, easily, I based on how long we've now talked about this game, as you can see, folks, easily the best game they've put out on PlayStation Plus so far this year in 2022. Highly recommend. It's a 2019 game, came out at the end of May in 2019, so it's about 3 years old. Soon to hit its 3-year anniversary. So if you haven't heard of this game, if you haven't checked it out yet, do yourself a favor. Hop on that shit. It's lit.
Definitely a game chat seal of approval, as both of us playing it in the last like week or so pretty much inspired the topic for this week's episode. So if that doesn't give you enough information right there, it's definitely a good time, and it's very simple, but it has a lot of depth, but it's not too hard to get into.
If you had to slot in a review score out of 10 right now, what would you give
Ooh,
it? Don't even think about it. Drop your game
I
chat rank. 1
I
through
would
10.
say I'd say an 8.
I would also give it an 8. You heard it here first, folks. The first officially game chat scored game, I'd say.
Patent pending.
Patent pending. But yeah, you got any like honorable mentions you want to talk about? I know I mentioned a couple as we went. We can just like list them off if you got any. One I definitely think, two that I definitely think we should check out because they're co-op online based, is Hood Outlaws and Legends, which I mentioned earlier. It seems like I think it's like a 4v1 or like a 1v3 type co-op online game where you're basically playing as Robin Hood or some nonsense. It looks cool. Also developed by Sumo Digital. I want to look into it more. And then another one, which I think I've heard nothing but great things about, is Ghost of Tsushima Legends, which is basically the online multiplayer component to Ghost of Tsushima, the sushi ghost himself. And I've heard quite a lot of spectacular things about that game, about the combat, and specifically the multiplayer mode in that game. So they just gave it away for free. They definitely add new content and updates to that game. So two, I think we should check out in the future.
I didn't have any honorable mentions for 2022. Oh, the honorable mentions would be more so for just the viewers and listeners, as they are all stuff we have either played or still actively play. But that would be Overcooked All You Can Eat, which we're still working our way through, and Operation Tango, which we beat back, I think like December is the last time we played it.
Sounds about right.
But that was a good time.
Those are no longer, free PlayStation Plus games, of course, but you can find these games across a wide variety of platforms. So check them out, folks. Let us know what you think about some of these games. Let us know if you've played them. Let us know what your top 5 PlayStation Plus games of 2022 are, or if you feel like you're going to check any of these out. Like we said, all of them are available on multiple platforms, and a lot of these games have been out for at least a year, so you can probably pick them up pretty cheap, if not for free. Because I know, like, games like Tiny Tina, I literally have on 3 different consoles, I feel, because I just picked them up in different spots. So, keep your eyes peeled. There's always good gaming deals. But yeah. Got any closing thoughts?
Closing thoughts. Only thing I gotta say is keep it locked, folks. We got another episode dropping next week, as in season 3 deets will be revealed. But as we've stated previously, we're only taking a break from the podcast. We're still gonna have stuff on Instagram. We're still gonna be streaming. So you wanna stick around and check that stuff out, because that won't be taking a break.
Specifically, we will 100% be covering Summer Games Fest, like the opening night live thing they do on June 9th, which, by the way, if you didn't know, you can go see it at a movie theater in IMAX now because they're doing that, which good for Jeff Keighley. Honestly, shout out to Jeff Keighley. And then we'll also be covering the Xbox Bethesda Game Showcase 3 days later on the 12th, along with streaming, as Lucas said. So keep it locked here, folks. Follow us on Instagram. Subscribe on YouTube. Please subscribe on YouTube. I'm begging you. If you do one thing for a creator out there nowadays, you should subscribe to this channel because we love you. We love making this content for you. And, we want to keep doing it. So show some support. Tell us you love us. Tell us what you think. Or even if you hate us, let us know. Maybe someday we'll get a hater. I don't think we have any yet.
When we get a hater, Tom, I will know that we have made it. So I can't wait for that day.
Well, until then, folks, you can potentially become our first hater by following us on Instagram at GameChat_TomLucas. And until that day, I hope you have a great day. Keep it locked. Peace out.
Bye-bye.